What up, B Squad? It is me, JB, and we are here with another brand new review for Baddies USA Season 8, Episode 15. This episode was titled Mace. Now, if you are watching or listening to this video or any other video on the channel and you're not subscribed, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that solid favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss this episode of Baddies USA, shall we? All right, so this was, was an interesting episode in so many ways, right? I couldn't do nothing but laugh at this episode because of the insane amount of stuff that I saw in this episode. So we're still in Atlanta, and so the girls are going to the location where they're going to be having their performance at, right? So everyone is showing up, and to me, it's so funny looking at DJ Sky because it's like you do realize that these girls, that not even the girls, production, everybody, they're essentially playing in your face when it comes to this DJ Ari, DJ Ari, whatever her name is. They are literally playing in your face with her. The girl is there to replace you. And I get where you're coming from. You looking at it as from one baddie DJ to the next, and you looking out for your baddie sister. But again, this baddie sister is here to replace you. So I'm just like, you know what, DJ Sky, if you like it, then I love it for you. But in my personal opinion, I wouldn't let these people play in my face, right? But again, if she likes it, hey, let her have it. And that's all I got, right? Then we move on. So Summer shows up. When Summer got there, Summer had a whole face of makeup. I was like, Lex really did you in so bad to the point that you are here with a beat on top of a beat up face. Bust, your lip is swollen. Your lip is swollen worse than when you fought Tasiki. But the difference is Tasiki went light on you, whereas opposed to Lex. Lex didn't go light on Summer. Am I mad at it? No. So she did talk about the situation between she and Lex, right? And although I don't see it for Summer, I don't like Summer. I think Summer is an irritant. Summer did say something that I absolutely agree with when it comes to a fallout with a friend. My whole stance is when it comes to me falling out with friends, right? I don't tell your secrets, you don't tell my secrets, right? Whatever we confided in each other, it stays between us, right? Because that shows me that we were really friends, and you weren't just listening to me, hearing me talk, and gathering information to potentially one day use against me, right? So I'll give Summer that. And then she was like, she don't want to fight her friends, and I'll even give Summer that as well. Like, wow, I mean, if we're really friends and we just have we break up our friendship relationship, then no, we shouldn't be putting our hands on each other, right? Because that again says more about the friendship, that it wasn't really a true friendship if we can go to the extent of putting our hands on one another, right? So I'll give Summer that. Because you're saying that you didn't want to fight Lex. Girl, I don't think you want to fight. I think part of the reason you didn't want to fight Lex is also because of the fact that you knew Lex would do you in, which Lex did her in. And I mean, it is what it is, right? So Jayla then asked Summer about, when they were in Detroit and her people pulling up, right? Summer wants to say that there was no malice with that happening. And I was like, I don't know if I believe Summer when she says that she didn't have any malicious intent with bringing her family. I beg to differ, Summer. I think you brought your people there knowing there was some static and some beef between you, Lex, and Dolly, and you necessarily know that you can't fight. So let me bring out my heavy, quote unquote heavy hitters in my family that I feel can handle Lex and can handle Dolly, right? I think that that's what happened when it comes down to it. Now, if you agree, cool. If you disagree, that's cool as well, right? But me personally, I don't believe someone when she says that. That is just my 2 cents. I don't necessarily believe Summer. So then we see, as they did their rehearsals. Some girls came with backup dances and all that stuff. So it looked like they were ready for this performance. So then, we see as everybody's getting ready for the performance. And so Natalie got there, and so she went out and she, got the crowd hyped and ready for the performance, right? So what I thought was quite interesting was throughout this performance, you see different people come up that are not a part of Baddies USA, this cast, right? Because the first person, because Lemmy gets his little ass up on the stage, right? And he was like, he gonna bring somebody. He got a special guest that he gonna bring out. I was like, who is this special guest that you bringing out? And the guest that he brought out was Shamar. Now I know that people like Shamar, and I don't have an issue. I don't have nothing against Shamar, but I was just confused why Shamar was brought out. But I was like, okay, if they like it, I love it for them. But cool. So after Shamar comes out, then we get the girls come. We get the girls coming out, right? And Gretchen, I think this leg of the Baddies USA tour, chapter 1, should be it for Gretchen. I honestly don't think that Gretchen should come back for chapter 2. My personal opinion. If you like Gretchen, cool. But this is just my opinion. And if you feel a way about it, then oh well. But the crowd continue to boo Gretchen every time she is out on stage. And I'm like that. But hey, Natalie was okay with it after. So I'm like, but I still just don't think that Gretchen should come out on stage. That's just my little 2 cents. And again, you can tell me if you disagree or if you agree, but I think this should be it for Gretchen. I honestly think that this should be a wrap for Gretchen, and that is all I got to say. Again, we can respectfully agree to disagree, right? If you like Gretchen, cool. So after that, you see so Natalie was still on the stage at this point, right? So you see in the crowd as looked like two girls were getting into it with each other, right? So Natalie saw that, and Natalie was like, "Let me get the hell out of here." I was like, "Not you leaving your own stuff, right? Like this is yours, and you about to leave because of the crowd." Okay, Natalie, very weird, but hey, if it makes sense to Natalie, it makes sense to Natalie. But to me, it didn't make sense, right? Because security was standing in between those two girls. So it wasn't like they were finna come up there on the stage and attack you. They were into it with each other. Like those girls were going back and forth with one another, not screaming. Now, granted, we don't know what they were saying, but I don't think they were saying anything to Natalie Nunn. Could they have been saying something to Natalie? Quite possibly. But she left, right? So then after Natalie left, then they brought out Saucy Santana. And I was like, why is I know Saucy hosts the Baddies reunions with Janisha, but I was confused why Saucy came out on the stage. And Saucy performed. I was like, okay, very interesting. What I will, however, say is I'm glad that it wasn't Bobby. I can deal with Saucy. I can even take Shamar. But Bobby Lights is kind of where I draw the line. Speaking of which, was Tanisha a one and done? Huh. Interesting. Also, I want somebody to let me know because I know that Houston is the last leg of the first half of the tour, right? So have they started filming for the second part for chapter two? If so, please let me know in the comment section. Now, we see as none other than DTB. She's back. I was like, come on, Diamond. Now I know that Diamond, and I do, have now that TV. I know that she's on one of those shows that I think just came on last night. I think it's Deja Vu or something like that. I don't know. I may watch it. I may watch it. I'm not. When it comes to now that TV, they're a different breed than Zeus for me. But Diamond arrived. As soon as Diamond got there, you hear Biggie going off backstage. The one thing I will say about Biggie is Biggie needs to learn how to control and regulate her emotions. Like, because you really just gave Diamond all the power over you. Like, if I got to beef with somebody, right? And they come somewhere that I'm at, I'm not going to sit here and lose my shit because the person came. I'm gonna be like, you know what, cool. Y'all want to bring so and so here? That's what's up. We can have let's have fun. Let's have some fun, right? But no, Biggie loses her mind, and I'm just like, Biggie, calm the fuck down, right? So then back on stage, we bring out some girl named Gloss Up. Now I didn't watch Baddies Gone Wild, so I don't know who Gloss Up is. But Hans Summer did a performance together. Cool. Again, I don't know who Gloss Up is. If you guys know who Gloss Up is, feel free to tell me who she is, and we can discuss it in the comment section. So after that, we see Rolly backstage, right? Rolly looked like she tired, and I would imagine these girls are tired with the way that they travel from city to city and the way I be fighting and stuff, and it be the wee hours of the like. So I would imagine she's tired. So Rolly ended up saying, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my hotel room. I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'll catch these girls tomorrow. So after that, this is where all hell broke loose, right? So you guys remember Suki and Gretchen previously fought episodes ago because of Gretchen saying nigga. And I think that this went back all the way to New York when they were in New York, right? Don't ask me what episode that was because I don't remember. But Suki has now granted, Gretchen has been saying this for episodes now that when her stitches heal, she wants that with Suki once again, right? And I'm like, here's the thing. I will say this. I get where she's coming from, right? Let them stitches heal and then fight her. But also, if you're that injured, why don't you go home? You know what I'm saying? Because this show, never mind, not even gonna get into it, right? So Suki is like, nah, ho, fuck your stitches. If you want it with me, we gonna get it, right? So, so Gretchen is on stage and Suki just gets Gretchen from behind. I was like, damn. So they get to fighting, right? Now remember, Natalie's rule is that they're not supposed to fight when they in the clubs. But shit, you know what? That rule they've been done broke. They break that rule every season. So I wish Natalie would stop saying. I wish Natalie would stop saying it, and I wish the girls would stop saying we ain't supposed to fight when we working. We ain't supposed to fight when we working. Y'all constantly working, all right? Y'all working while y'all film. Like everything is work with y'all. So when do y'all have any opportunities to really fight besides them stupid ass house meetings, right? So we get that. Then Gretchen tried to charge at Suki. Suki pulled out this bear mace and sprayed the shit out of Gretchen, and she got her smack dead in the face. I was like, ooh, I know her face is on fire. Like I knew Gretchen's face was on fire. Did I feel bad for Gretchen? Slightly. slightly because I mean, let's be real. I may not like Gretchen from what I've saw, but I can also be someone with a heart and be like, did she necessarily deserve that? No. The sneaking part, I'm not upset about. It's the bear mace because not only did you mace her, everybody else around got affected by it. Because you hear everybody just, you see everybody choking, and I'm like, Suki, did you really think that one through? Like that one something that you really thought through. Because even Sapphire was choking, right? So we get the girls out of there. We get them on the bus. They still choking. They still talking about it. Security got hit. Production. Everybody got affected by the bear mace from Sukiana, right? And that was a long ass scene of them complaining about the bear mace. It's like it's done now. What y'all gonna do about it, right? So we see as they finally made it to Houston, right? So Jayla and Scotty met up with each other. So Scotty is telling Jayla how, after that whole sit down with me, you, Natalie, and Janelle, she feels as if, Jayla has been distant towards her. And Jayla's like, no, I haven't been distant towards you. And Scotty's like, no, girl, you've been distant. And Jayla's like, girl, it could be just because you're pregnant and your hormones. And Scotty's like, no, girl, it's not that. She's like, if anything, it's making me more heightened to certain things and realizing you ain't really being a good friend of me right about now, right? So then they had a conversation about Kay Rican coming to the house in Atlanta and how she fought with Tinka and with Nunu. I was like, what they got to do with either one of y'all? What does it have to do with either one of you two? But okay. Moving on to Lex and Dolly. So Lex and Dolly met up with each other. Although Lex and Dolly are not my favorite, well, technically Dolly's not my favorite person. I still do like Lex. So what I will say is they both look really cute in this scene. And once again, Dolly comes with her hand wrapped up. She got a boxer sprain and a sprain and a messed up pinky. I was like, one thing about Dolly, she fights and she hurts herself. Like I'm really trying to sit here and think. Has Dolly ever had a season where she hasn't been hurt? Because Midwest she was hurt. I really feel like she was hurt most of Africa too. Yeah, she was hurt in Africa, and now this season. Oh, so Lex told Dolly about the whole fight between she and Summer, right? So Dolly asked Lex like, so the shit that someone was saying about you, you and her eating each other out, like, is that stuff true? And Lex says it was partially true. And Dolly was like, but you were saying that it wasn't true. And she was. Here's my thing. This would have been something that I would have took to my grave. I would have never let anybody know that Summer ate me. And honestly, I know Lex says she's a pillow princess. Okay, whatever. I tend to believe Summer. And here's why. Because Lex did say it didn't happen. But then you said it did happen, but only Summer ate you. Now you do have a video of you and Summer together, and you like, that's me with my legs up and on my tippy toes, and that Summer eating my puss. Me personally, I would have never admitted that Summer, of all people, went down on me. That's just me. And I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, like, girl, why do you have a video of it? She says it was a one-time deal. I was like, girl, it would have been a no-time deal for me. But I mean, hey, if you like it, I love it. So then we move on, and so we get Gretchen. So Gretchen is still pissed off about this whole Suki thing. Fauna is also kind of pissed, right? And she's like, when it comes down to it, Suki snuck her and then sprayed her with the mace. And so her and Cole Killer feel bad about it. And I was like, I feel bad about the mace, but not the sneaking of it all. I don't feel bad about that. So Cole Killer she still got static and beef for Tommy, right? Now y'all let me know. Is Tommy coming back at any point? Because I don't know. But feel free to let me know in the comment section. So then this bus ride to the Houston house, I was so confused because it was so much talking going on. What I will say is Mariah Lynn, in my personal opinion, was doing the absolute most, right? Mariah Lynn was doing the most, and Mariah Lynn was also really, truly 100% getting on my last damn nerves, right? So Sapphire is telling everybody, like, hey, if y'all need a fade with Suki, and I think she said because some of y'all are bigger than her, take it out on, have it with me. I ain't that good of a friend to take a fade for a friend. I'm gonna defend my friend and protect my friend, but I'm not that big of a friend to say, oh, if you want to fight my friend, you got to fight me. Fuck that. That ain't again. I ain't that big of a person. I'm not. I'm not fighting for nobody. What I will do is I will never let my friends get jumped by people. That is who I am. I don't let my friends get jumped or tag teamed by any person, anybody. Right? That is just that. So then it was so confusing because before Mariah Lynn and Sapphire, they were arguing with each other, and I don't know what the argument. I know what the argument was about, but it didn't make any sense to me because Sapphire says one thing, and Mariah says another thing, and I'll explain it to you. But before I explain it, Tasiki is talking about the mace of it all, right? So Tasiki says that the mace was hers, and somebody must have gave it to what's her name? Suki, right? Because she said she's not saying that Suki stole it, but she's saying that somebody must have took it and gave it to Suki, right? Now Mariah Lynn and Sapphire are arguing, right? And they're arguing about so Sapphire is saying that someone told Suki that Gretchen wanted to jump her or sneak her or something to that effect, right? But Mariah Lynn is saying no. Gretchen was always saying that she wanted her neck, her stitches to heal before she fought with Suki again. But again, they were arguing back and forth with each other, and I just didn't understand what the argument was about. And in my personal opinion, it looked like Mariah Lynn was just doing team too much. But feel free if you have a difference of opinion with that, let me know in the comment section and we can discuss it there, right? So then we finally get to the house, and the girls are outside having a conversation. Lex and Dolly arrive. I think it was Rolly who was asking the question about Dolly, Summer, and Lex them. And so Summer and Dolly got into it with each other, right? And Dolly says that they're ex friends, and Summer was like, "You said that we were industry friends." That was like same thing, but I was talking to the little lady, so let me address her, right? So Dolly was saying to Summer, like, when it comes down to me, you, and Lex, and the end of our friendship, you would never tell us what the real issue was, right? And then Lex is like, and you sit over here playing a victim, and you're not the victim. And I'll give both of them that, right? Because Summer didn't say why she stopped being friends with them because they came into the season still being friends. But if you look at the way that the episodes when it aired and how it looks, it does look like Summer stopped being friends with them after the whole Tasiki of it all. That's how it looks to me, right? Now, people may agree or disagree, and that is absolutely fine if you disagree, right? So then Tavy decided to ask Dolly about, so me and you, we fought, but we ain't had no issues with each other. So, and it seemed like they came to some kind of resolution with that because they didn't fight. So I guess they good, right? So after that, Rolly tells the girls, like, hey, we got a special baddie that we got coming to the house tonight, right? And they were like, who is it? George Bush. Now, one thing that I will say was kind of funny, even though I don't know this girl, but they were telling that Smiley girl, like, girl, don't steal no shit from this house. And then we see her as she's looking up the person who owns the house. Somebody she's a oil tycoon or something like that. I was like, you're a weirdo, but okay, whatever. So Diamond came. Now, I forgot to mention when Diamond went to the club in Atlanta, Diamond says that Biggie snuck her, right? So her and Biggie get out there to fight each other. It was funny to me because neither Biggie nor what's her name? Neither Biggie nor Diamond can fight. And that shit was just hilarious as hell to me. Just funny. So after they fought, then Tavy was like, okay, so you want it with me? And Diamond said yes. I was like, oh God, please don't fight. Please don't. But they fought, and that was the end of the episode. This episode, I mean, it was okay. I didn't hate it, but it is what it is. But I will say, I was cracking the fuck up at Biggie and Diamond, two heifers that cannot fight, swinging at nothing but air. And it was funny when Diamond came in and took her wig off. I was like, I'm glad you took your wig off. Also, Diamond, even though I like Diamond, I am so glad that Diamond did not leave with either some hair missing, a tooth missing, a black eye. But I'm so glad that Diamond didn't leave with fucked up like she typically does. Is it Tina Ray 71773? How are you doing? Yes, Diamond thought she was winning, but neither she nor Biggie was winning that fight. They were swinging at air. Biggie. Biggie gets on. Here's the thing with Biggie. Biggie actually gets on my nerves because Biggie does a lot, and I don't understand Biggie sometimes. Because Biggie, if you snuck this girl in the club, I'm pretty sure you should have known she was coming here to fight. But no, Biggie wants to have a conversation with her. I was like, Biggie, like you apologize to me. You apologize to me, bro. You apologize to me. Biggie, I don't think she cares about apologizing to you at this point. That's not the point. Like, again, when y'all were in Atlanta, you were losing your mind backstage about Diamond. But neither here nor there. Now, Diamond, for you to say yes that you want to fight Tavy. Tavy ain't the best fighter either, but neither, and you damn sure ain't the best fighter, Diamond. But it looks like Tavy's gonna beat your ass next week. And I hate that for you. I really do. Like you getting beat up by Tavy. It is what it is. Then she's gonna sit down with Natalie next week. That I'm not looking forward to, but it is what it is. Overall, it was an okay episode. It was okay. I just really want to understand what Mariah Lynn was so upset with. I just really want to understand what Mariah Lynn was upset with Sapphire about. Like that, I didn't understand it. So if anybody can clear that up, if you understand what that argument was about, cool. Also, DJ Sky, this is addressed specifically to you. Go home. Go home, Roger. These people are playing in your fucking face with DJ Ari, whatever her name is. Yeah, unfortunately, Diamond is definitely going to get that ass drug. You say this was one episode that didn't revolve around Summer, and I am so happy that it did not revolve around Summer. I am so glad about that. But I think Summer should sit her ass down, sitting there looking like Martin after he got his ass. Ooh, girl, Summer. She still looks pretty, but no, she doesn't. Somebody lied to her. DJ Sky's a clown. Yeah. That's why I say she needs to go home. Because they playing her fucking. DJ Sky, they are playing it in your face. Oh, and next week, Suki and Gretchen fight. Oh. I don't have no opinions about Suki and Gretchen because I don't really like Gretchen. Suki, she's a caricature in my personal opinion, and that's all I got to say. But I'm going to get off of here. Overall, good episode. Overall, good episode. Next week looks like it's going to be a good one too. So we'll see next week, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to it. Share the video, like the video, and leave your comments. And I will catch you guys in the next video. So if you guys are Housewives fans, then join me a little later for the Real Housewives of Potomac. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.